Can't believe you're single. I hadn't noticed it before, but you are weirdly hot.
Not sure about the use of the word weirdly.
Maybe you have a weird smell?
I had a chance to watch the show and just absolutely fell in love with it. I was really moved by it. Funny.
Wow.
Yay! Oh, thank you so much. I'm really grateful for your time today.
Thank you.
Sophie, I wanted to start with you. So in sex education, you confront subject matter that's deemed very uncomfortable, but do it through the lens of humor. And you kind of do the same thing here. What is it about finding humor in the uncomfortable that interests you as a creative?
I think I don't know what it is, but I've always been this way. I like saying something that I'm not meant to say. I'm interested, if there's a button that says don't push, I'm like, oh, I must push it. So it's bad impulse control, basically. I love shows. Like, I absolutely thought DTF St. Louis was like mind-blowing because they talk about, sorry, I don't know where I've got off kilter, but, looking at subject matter that should be dark and should be really uncomfortable and trying to get the audience to realize, like, maybe we're being too judgmental.
Mm-hmm. I find that interesting, the kind of judgment piece. Tom, I want to ask you, there's a really interesting moral question at the center of the show. Who's in the wrong? Is it Steve? Is it Alice? Is it Izzy? All the above, some of the above. How do you see the show as investigating the morality of each of these three players in the show?
I think we want people to feel that whatever your snap judgment is, like, you start to feel that everyone is trying to do their best and none of them are bad people. And, like, the premise is so shocking and, like, it makes, like, sometimes it puts people off or it makes them just, like, really excited to find out what happens next. But I think after that, like, amazing hook, the show is like delving very deep into like the very real consequences of this crazy situation. And yeah, you realize there's so much love in it. That's one of the things I loved about reading the script for the first time, that there's just so much heart and emotion in it. And I think your allegiances change throughout the show. There are no obvious villains.
Yeah, they're all good people, but just maybe making dodgy decisions.
Yeah.
Which makes them feel real, right? And flawed and relatable. I was getting like a War of the Roses type quality to the show a little bit, like two previously very kind of amicable people who are now at odds. I'm so curious, like, as a creative team, how do you find the humor in arguments? Typically arguments are not meant to be funny, aren't funny, but there are so many in this show that are just hilarious. I'm thinking of the dinner scene, and I think episode 5 was just hilarious. But how do you navigate that?
I really like I think arguments in British comedy are really interesting because it's all about repression. It's about what people aren't saying and about trying to appear polite and not exposing how angry and upset you are. And so that's what I think makes it delicious. It's about what's not necessarily being said.
Yeah, and people getting really angry about really tiny things. Yeah, definitely. Like when I think of arguments in my family, like, just the stacking of the dishwasher can like cause like all of these emotions to come out. But yeah, I like that they feel like these epic arguments that are also really petty at the same time. But in terms of like, it's great that you've found it so funny, because we were like, we wanted it to be funny, but also like there's a point if you have too many jokes in a scene, then you start to question like whether this is really happening. So yeah, we were like, we did a lot of work in the edits to find like the exact level.
Yeah, it's a careful like tonal balance, but I think you both struck that really well. I want to ask you about the needle drops at the end of each episode. I really enjoyed those. They felt like I think, was it episode 4, the oh shit, after some big news drops. Like, I think that was so carefully done. How did you work those into the film, and were there others that you considered using, other songs?
Yeah, there were some others that we didn't get permission for, but I think, lots of people made suggestions. Like, some came from you, from me, from our editors. I think one of our execs suggested one. It was really fun thinking about that. And in fact, we've been playing the series at TV festivals, and sometimes people say, can we just run the episodes all into each other? And we're like, no, the credit music is really important. Like, you need that decompression time, and it's just a really funny counterpoint, and it just lets you breathe, because the episodes can get quite intense.
Yeah, no, I really like that, and the songs are so carefully selected. I really enjoyed that.
There is one. There was a Lily Allen song that that would have been perfect, but unfortunately could not get permission.
Well, you never know
Damn
that.
you.
Sophie, I wanted to ask about the cast here, and as a writer, so you have three leads who are just absolutely exceptional at nailing the comedic beats, the dramatic beats. In writing, did you have anyone in mind or any of these performers in mind? And what was it like to see your words be performed by such incredible performers?
It was totally exquisite getting these people to be in it. I wrote knowing that Nicola was going, I think I'd only written first 2 episodes, and we sent to Nicola, so I could then write it with Nicola in mind. And then shortly after, we sent it to Jermaine, and Jermaine just seemed like the perfect Steve, and luckily he's incredibly good at improvisation, so about half of the jokes are his, but I'm going to take all the credit. And then Yali was like the last piece of the puzzle, and I was actually really scared because we hadn't found the Izzy character, and it was 3 weeks before, and we didn't have her, and I thought, oh shit, this could be a disaster. Like, if you get the wrong person here, it could just feel really unpleasant. And I think she just has such a kind of swagger. She's just like so unbelievably cool and confident and powerful, but also sort of covering this, gorgeous insecurity, but she covers, and she just killed it. She came into the room, and actually just her saying hello. She sort of literally, she had me at hello, but she came in and she kind of was just like, she just was the strongest person in the room as soon as she came in, and that we all were like, oh, thank God, it meant that we could relax, and also it's funny, like Nicola, I'd sort of previously mostly known her for drama, and she's so funny in this, and then Jermaine, who I think I'd seen him in a film called People, Places, Things, which was beautiful. But his poignancy when he has moments of sadness and loss in this show, like, he has me weeping. He's so good.